Got a chance to catch up with Greg Beattie, one of the Australian bass pros. He's going to talk us through his duff rods and go over his plastic techniques. How you going, Greg?
Good, mate, good.
Specifically, a lot of people don't understand that each sort of technique involves a certain setup. Exactly like a golfer uses different clubs, each technique actually requires a different rod setup.
Yeah, exactly.
How does your duff rod setup work with your plastics there?
I've got a few rods. This is probably my main plastics rod for Glenbawn. For brim and things, I'll use different ones, but this one for here especially, it's got a lot of butt on it.
Yep.
But it's still got a light tip, so I can get a lot of action into the plastic if I whip the tip. You get a lot of feel through it because of the light tip, and the light tip also helps prevent the snags.
Yep.
So it's always handy to have a rod like that, and when you do hook up, you can give it to them. So
you got a little bit of strength in the butt, as you said, to rip the fish out. What model's that, and what do you match that with?
That's a 7-foot 2 to 5.
Yep.
It's got a Daiwa Steez on it at the moment. That's what I like using for the plastics. It's a 2500. Gives me a bit more return on the line when I crank the handle faster.
Yep. Get
them out even quicker than using overheads.
And what sort of line are you using there as well to match with that?
That's 11-pound fire line.
Yep.
It's thin enough that it doesn't bother you too much, casts well.
And you've
it's still got plenty of strength.
And a fluorocarbon leader?
Fluorocarbon leader, yeah, normally 8-pound. I've gone down to 6 just to try and make sure I get the bites.
Yep. What actual leader do you use? And
using Torre at the moment.
Yep.
It's been good for me so far. I've only just started using it, but yeah, I haven't had any fails with it yet, so I'm pretty happy.
It is a good line. And
yeah,
you've got
it is,
the
mate.
TT jig head, painted jig head on there?
Yeah, I paint them up myself just because I don't like the silver jig head. It's just a personal preference.
Absolutely. So let's talk through your actual action itself. Say you're casting out. Do you actually count it down? Do you hit the edges? How do you actually go?
There's a few. It depends what the fish are doing. I'll drop it to a tree or something and take it to the bottom, or count it down the trunk. You might find that you've got to count to 8, count to 9, count to 10. You just got to work out where they're sitting on the tree. Normally it's to do with the water temperature or even the daylight.
Yep.
That'll set them to a certain depth. They'll normally get in between trees where you've got a weed bed and a tree, say, sitting in 10 foot just off it, where there's a bit of an alleyway. They'll hunt around the tree and come out and grab things and go back in, or vice versa. They'll hunt around the weed bed and come out to the tree to rest. Yep.
We caught up with you today and watched you were actually twitching the lure a little bit as well as you were bringing it in. You do that with your plastics and your hard bodies as well?
Yeah, that's a jerk bait, so yeah, I will twitch that a fair bit and let it sit around.
Yeah, you twitch your plastics as well?
Twitch the plastics as well. I just find most of the time it's a dead slow roll.
Yep.
But a twitch sometimes will entice a bite, or also it'll help them suck it in.
Yep.
If they're following it and then all of a sudden it darts away from them, they'll grab it, and when they come up to grab it like that, they're a bit of a suck feeder bass unless they're really nailing things. So when they open their mouth and suck it in, that twitch gives that tiny little bit of slack line, and in it goes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now let's talk about your crankbait setup. Have you got a little bit of a heavier stick here, or what are you actually working
No, that's actually a lighter stick.
Okay.
To help absorb the bites.
Yep.
I find they'll hit a crankbait a lot harder than they will a plastic.
So you're not pulling the hooks out of their mouth once they're hitting?
Yeah, that's it. They'll grab it and try and run back to where they came from. And if you're fishing too heavy with a crankbait, you'll bust off straight away.
Okay, so what model are you actually fishing there? It's a Duff rods?
Yeah, that's a 1 to 4. I normally use this for surface fishing. Yep. Because it's got a real whippy action. Yep. But it comes in very handy for crankbaits.
And what do you got that matched with, and what line and leader?
Same line, same leader.
Yep.
8-pound actually on this one.
Yep. And
another Daiwa reel, a little Presso.
Okay. And you find that's good enough to get them out from the sticks?
Yeah, that'll get them out. I just like the Presso or the smaller reel, the 2000 size reel, just to slow the lure down in the retrieve.
Okay.
I find if you're moving too quick with a hard body, you won't get a bite.
Okay, really appreciate your time, Greg, and good luck for the weekend.
Thanks, mate. We'll get out of this rain.
Okay.